How's Cooper?
He's good.
He's roaming around here somewhere.
He's running around.
He's hanging out.
Up here.
Just hanging out.
Just chilling. Yeah.
Yeah. Not doing much.
Okay. So, what are you guys looking for Cooper? Like, what are you interested in? Or
We're interested in when we're walking. He tends to sometimes, all the time, react to like certain dogs that are nearby, especially.
okay.
Sometimes he likes to just take the lead and just be tugging on you.
Okay.
And then just like the basic commands at home. And then be able to just leave him at home so he's okay. Since everything's opening back up, everybody's kind of getting back into their usual routine.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't been home alone, and it's just like chaotic, just leaving him home for like 2 hours. Like
Okay.
neighbors just tell me that he just barks nonstop, and he's just like, until we get home, then he's okay.
Okay. Is he destructive or anything?
I'm sorry?
Is he destructive? Does he destroy things, like chewing on stuff or?
Like if you leave like food around, he will get to it. If you leave like the trash can, he will. But I mean, to our stuff, he hasn't.
No, just mainly the trash can. So we've been putting the trash can and locking it in the bathroom. And just clear the kitchen counter so he doesn't climb onto anything. And then other than that, if there's really no food, nothing for him, he's just playing with his toys and just laying down. But he usually just barks if we go out real quick. So
okay.
He won't stop barking until we come back.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else I should know about Cooper?
He listens. He basic stuff. I tell him to sit, stay. I won't tug on the leash. I'll grab him by the harness, and he's friendly. If I'm there, he's friendly. I take him to work with me. He sits behind me. So I have them tied to the printer, and then I have his blanket there, and he sits there. And then if I have to go pick something, he's fine. And then like when I'm closing up, I'll let him off the leash. He'll roam the warehouse with me. That's mainly it. Like he's calm when I'm like there, but he gets too excited sometimes. Like with other dogs, walking, squirrels, anything that's in front of him, he's like, "Is that a toy?" And he starts pulling, getting crazy, and that's just about it. He hasn't really been aggressive. I've been introducing him to a lot of coworkers and their dogs, Dobermans, Mastiffs, Pit Bulls, Huskies. So I'm trying to show him there's more out there than just you in the house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was very social with us here. Played well in groups. He would get a little barky here and there.
Yeah.
That's all I pretty much remember about him. So with everything going back to normal, with the pandemic and everything, are you guys completely transferred over to like normal work schedules, or is this still not? Is it going to be happening soon, or how's that working?
Yeah, it's gonna be coming up soon, especially with the girls going back to camp. It's gonna pretty much happen like within 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, so we're telling all of our COVID dog owners, like back when COVID started, even with like the puppies, we told them soon, like there's going to be a point where things go back to normal, right?
Yeah.
Start creating your puppy, right? If you work a 9 to 5, you would start creating your puppy, right? No matter how old they are, 9 to 5, right? You can do a little potty break in the middle, but 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. they're in the crate in a separate room away from you, right? just so that it's kind of getting them already a head start, so that when we do go back to some sort of normalcy, that the only thing that would change is just that they're leaving the house, right? It's actually harder for dogs to stay calm and be crate trained when you're in the home and then they're in another room. So it's more, it flows more. So, your house or rules. There's no wrong or right way to kind of address these things. Um, if he's just, barking, um, you always have like the option of buying a bark collar to just address the barking. Because if he's not being destructive or anything, and the barking is the only thing that you need to correct, then there's like bark collars out there, and there's a brand we recommend. But then also just to help in general the separation, you can also do the crate in another room just to help him get some separation, so you can ease him into your regular work life and like with the camp and everything. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Like I said, this is not me telling you what to do. It's just like an idea to help you out. There's no right or wrong way to address things with dogs. There's obviously ways we prefer to address them head on, but whatever works for your home, and like just to avoid getting complaints from like the neighbors and everything. The bark collar would definitely help with him, because one, it's when you're gone, something's at least addressing his barking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then if you were to have everything you'd want with Cooper, right? Let's say we get everything done and over with. What would life look like with Cooper? Like, do you guys, just take him walk around the block and like you take him to work here and there, or, you take him to like restaurants or patios and you want him just to hang out and not move? Or do you want to take him off leash hiking and giving him that freedom to run around in the woods? Or what do you see yourself doing with Cooper, like mostly every day? Is it,
Probably just I always want to. What was that?
Does it pretty much like stay the same? It's just you need the barking and then the leash pulling. That's all you need, right?
For now, but eventually we would want him to like be able to access him to just go out and know that on command we know he's not going to overreact. We like going out to the beach, and I know we can take him to the dog beach here. So like for me, sometimes I'm hesitant to bring him because I know he can get like extra. Like he'll be over barking, and it's just sometimes I'm with the girls, so it's just like too much to be handling. So I'd want to be confident enough to just bring him out and know that I'm okay to bring him out and have him off the leash and hang out. And we all have a good day, and then we just all go home after. Mm-hmm. And he was able to just, on command, just be like, oh, okay, I can go, I can do this, I can do that. And then there's no issue with anybody.
Okay. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, so I'm just asking these questions just to kind of get a feel for like, we're not going to give you these other, we're not going to give you something that you're not going to need, right? We're only going to teach you certain things that apply to your lifestyle with Cooper. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you said Cooper's on a harness, correct?
When he goes on walks.
Okay. So, we have all these training tools on, I'm assuming you guys did your research on us and like how the training tools that we use and like the methods we have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The e-collar and everything.
Yeah. We use the prong collar when he goes on walks. Cause without it, he just doesn't listen.
Oh, like he pulled in harness?
Well, he likes using the harness. It's just like a flimsy harness just to like have that extra strap on him just like to be able to.
If somebody's dog is loose, I want to be able to grab him real quick. And I usually bring him up to my level.
Oh, yeah.
So like the dog that's coming or, around the corner, nothing happens. Because usually like, you get that dog that's always barking. And he doesn't like that. So like he'll show his teeth, he'll get, he'll start pulling. I'm just restraining him real quick, like calm down, like, and that's mainly it. That's what the harness is for. I use the spike collar, just to tug on him a little bit. I don't like yank him or anything because I'm usually right next to him. So I try to keep him like on my side, but he wants to always take the lead, and it's just me just holding him on my side, and and I try to keep him away from like the fence. So I usually keep him on like my left side or the other side if I'm which way I'm walking. So just in case the dog runs up to the fence, he's not that close because he's he doesn't stay quiet. Like if they're barking, he wants to snap back at them and say, "Hey, who are you talking to?"
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah. So we use e-collars. We also use prong collars as well. Prong collar and e-collar sometimes at the same time. Like that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate combination, right? The thing with harnesses is that we don't like to use harnesses because you'll get those. I mean, I know you're probably not using it as a training tool. You're using it as like something to kind of pick him up and grab him easy.
yeah,
yeah.
Like I said, when he lunges, I just I grab him. That's it. Just keep him just in case something's happening, or I'll let somebody like, hey, you go first. That's mainly what I use it for.
Yeah. So I'll explain. I'll explain this. So the harnesses are used for pulling, right? Huskies, you put harnesses on huskies, and you also put harnesses on horses to pull carriages, and you also put harnesses on protection dogs, right? Okay. So handler has protection dog on harness. They pull and they release. They pull and release. So dogs have what's called opposition reflex. So if you pull them back right here on the chest, they want to pull forward. So you pull back, they go forward. You pull left, they go right. You pull right, they go left. So what that is this is negative pressure right here. It's annoying for dogs. So when the handler is pulling back and then like the aggressor is across and like taunting the dog, like for protection training, we pull, we release, we pull, we release because they want to go. It's like at the like those those on the movies, or like maybe you've seen it at like bars where like the guys are getting into like they're getting into their the energy is getting high, they're about to get into a fight, and like one guy holds them back, and then like once you get hold back, you want to go even more. It makes you more amped. Right? So same thing for dogs that we can create frustration and aggression with harnesses to kind of make them frustrated. We pull and we let them go, we pull them to go, and then we just let go of the leash and then they shoot, right? So when owners get puppies and they put them on a harness, it probably looks like nothing at first. Puppy sees dog, owner's like, nah, we'll pulls them away, but then over time they're starting to get annoyed from this. Like, I want to see that dog, or maybe at some point it's like there's a dog there, whoa, what's this pressure here? I don't like it. And then this pressure only happens when there's a dog. So then they get more frustrated. And that's where sometimes activity forms with dogs. And then sometimes if it's for such a long time, it can turn to aggression.
Okay.
So harnesses are good. It's a training tool, for certain reasons, right? We wouldn't use harness to teach walking, right? So sometimes when someone's passing you and you grab the harness and you give tension, you're passing that tension to Cooper. So then Cooper's feeling tense, and then you're making the situation very tense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Prong collar is a good step forward because prong collar allows you to correct your dog, right? It's spiky, it's supposed to mimic a dog bite. Dogs are physical animals. If Cooper was playing and then this dog started mounting him, he didn't like it, he'd probably snap at the dog like, don't do that to me, right? Dogs don't give each other treats. They don't say, hey, please, sit. They don't say sit and then they sit, right? It's just if there's gonna be this action, right? This action on me, I'm gonna give you consequence. So it's action and consequence. So that's where prong collar comes in handy because it's allowing you to finally correct your dog physically, because physicality is their language. They understand it. Issues with it is that, like you said, once you take that leash off, you have lost all control, right? You can train prong collar, right? Sit down, stay place, and all this stuff, and you can somewhat teach recall. But again, recall for us at least isn't recall if it's not off leash trained, right? So once you take that leash off, you have lost control. sometimes maybe Cooper can be so like reactive and so intense that the prong collar won't do anything, and it just won't work because he's such at a high level of energy, right? Your strongest leash pop or like tug could be a 7, he's at a 10. You're never going to override the brain. Another issue is, you know, they'll have is like, you know, if especially if like couples or like, you know, two owners who own one dog, or a dog has 2 owners, right? So one person, partner number 1, could be stronger than partner number 2. So like, yeah, he listens to him, but then when I have the leash, he doesn't listen to me. You know, there's also that issue as well, like who's stronger to kind of address Cooper. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, talks with her if I'm not around, you know, but we mean like it just sometimes he's like nice, sometimes he's not. He switches on and off. Sometimes we have to be like, oh, he's too much. You handle him real quick, you know. Okay, you know, calm down. Why are you pulling? But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So all these training tools, right, even positive only with the food, they have low ceilings, right? Prong collars maybe like a 50 to 60% of reliable obedience. So then that brings us to e-collar. What do you guys know about like electronic collars?
Not much.
Not much.
Cooper, if anything, Cooper's like our first dog.
Okay.
My first dog. It's like her third dog, if anything, but she never done any type of training like that with the e-collar. But I've seen a couple dogs that had them at the park and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like a better command.
Yeah, it's so e-collar. I'll get into it. Have you guys ever been to a physical therapist?
No.
So physical therapists and nurses are aware of it too. It's called a TENS unit. It's like a little like machine you put on like muscle, and it contracts the muscle and like massages if it's torn, right?
Okay.
Athletes use it, you know. There's commercials. What is it? Build a 6-pack overnight, and like it's supposed to like this little patch that massages your abs, right? So that same technology that's used for patients and like therapy and on humans is the same technology that's on the e-collars, the dog training, right?
Okay.
It's a muscle contractor. Jesse likes to call it electric, but not electricity. So it's not going through Cooper's body, right? It's a collar with a little box on it that has 2 probes or contact points, right, that go on one spot of the neck, right? So this is the only area Cooper would be feeling it on. So if I had it on my hand and I was increasing the number, you'll start to see my thumb just like twitch like this as I keep going higher, right? Our collars, the brand we use is called Dog Trust, our favorite brand. Jesse's been using it for many, many years, almost his whole career. Those collars have 127 levels, right? There are other brands out there, right, that maybe go up to 10. So think of 10 equal to 127, the power. We just have so many other numbers to be more specific to the dog, the breed, the scenario, the situation we're in, right? So the issues with the 10 level collars is like a 5, right? Maybe we're at a 5 and Cooper's yelping. It's too much. Or too low, and then we're stuck there, right? For us, if 50 is too high, 40 is too low, we can go to 45. You understand that?
Gotcha.
It's not that we have 100, 100 more levels than the 10 e-collar. It's the same thing. We just have more numbers.
Gotcha.
Exactly. They're waterproof, mile-long range, 1.5 half-mile range. They're used for hunting dogs, so that's where they came from. Like I said, before I said, dogs are physical animals. They thrive on physicality and consequence and structure. E-collar is physical, right? The only difference is that we can get higher to kind of cut the excitement, right? To really, get on his level.
Mm-hmm.
So he won't have the issue of, I'm sorry, sir, what's your name? I forget.
Cecil.
Say it again?
Cecil.
right? If Dessel has Cooper and then Cindy has Cooper, there won't be an issue of like, well, Cindy only, Cooper only listens when Cindy's handling Cooper, but then when Dessel has Cooper, he doesn't listen, right? Because when you press the button on 30, for example, right, and Cindy presses the button on 30, it's the same, right? There's no who's stronger or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's also very transferable. So when we work with couples in person, right, partner number one goes first. They usually do all the hard work because they're going first, right? Then partner number two goes, and it's super easy, right? Because partner number two did all the work. So it's very transferable. So there's no, like I said, there's none of that. Or even like when the trainer's here, he listens, but when the trainer leaves, he doesn't listen. There's none of that as well. I don't know what Cooper's number is going to be on the remote or the e-collar, right? He'll let us know. So similar to physical therapy, right? The client tells the therapist when it's too much. So they go up on the levels, right? And the client, the physical therapist will say, let me know when it's too much. Client goes, okay, that's enough. They lower it 2 levels down and they let the machine do its work. That's very, very similar to how we do dog training. We find his number and he's the one that's telling us what his number is, right? And it's going to be changing all the time, based on like weather, environments. If he's playing with his dog friends in the warehouse, outside, in the home, there's a lot of different variables that can affect his working functioning number. But pros is, once you take the leash off, you have control, right? You have the remote. There's no need for a leash. Once you've obviously taught the foundation of all the commands, you can you still have control. Any questions so far about the electronic collar?
No. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like definitely something we would definitely want to do.
Something he definitely needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely for that. Would I use that on walks, going out to like all the time outside?
Yeah. So it's a good question. So it's on when you need it, right?
Okay.
So let's say right now, right? He's just chilling, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's an angel like that in the house all the time when you guys are home. Then you don't need it. There's no need
Gotcha.
for it. Let's say you're going to go for a walk. It'd be on, right? And this is also after training. It's still beyond because we can't predict what's going to happen on this walk. We can be walking by a busy street and like a car crash happens, or 4th of July is coming around. What if a firework shoots close up? Dogs can go into flight mode and get startled in that, right? So when dogs are in flight mode, they're literally thinking kill or be killed. So if you got him on the prong collar, sometimes those fall apart, right? Or maybe he just catches you off guard. He bolts and like you're like whoa, and then he slips out the hand, or like he pulls you down or something like that. Something happens, right? He's in flight mode. He's running away. Cooper come, some ham, treats is not going to make him come, right? Because like I said, kill or be killed. He's gone.
Yeah.
So you have the remote to override that mindset to kind of bring him back to you, right?
Okay.
And like I said, after training, post training, like however many years, like for me, like Jesse still uses the e-collar on walks. He still has it on, right? He presses the button like once every month, once he does it very rarely, but it's just in case something happens, he has that control, right? Let's say in the home he's an angel, like I said before, but then you find that when guests come over, right, he's very jumpy, right? So you power him up 30 minutes prior. When the guest arrives, address whatever that needs to be addressed. And then if you find that he settles through for the rest of the night and you don't need the collar, then you can go ahead and take it off after you see some consistency and everything like that.
Gotcha. He does do that. Just with guests, he's not like he'll sniff them, but then he'll jump. He's tall, so Cindy and her family, they're all short. So Cooper, he's already on their shoulders, and they're like, "Whoa, what is this dog? Like this big thing on my shoulders?" And I'm like, calm down, like hold on, no jumping, you don't scare him like that, Cooper. You can't be like that. That's one thing that definitely we could work on, the jumping, with just family members and friends.
Yeah. What else? does that answer your question? Because you asked, when will it be on? Like, is it on all the time or anything like that? Even at the warehouse, if you can have it on just in case something happens at the warehouse. Any other questions?
About the e-collar or just in general?
About the e-collar.
No, just that, like, just so we wear it when we go out, when we need it mainly. So
correct.
I understand.
Okay. So what were you guys looking at? It sounds like, so how e-collar would fix these issues you have, right? So you have reactivity, right? So when we're first using e-collar on Cooper, we need to teach him that he's the one in control of the remote, of the collar. He's the one. We need to let him know that he is the one that turns it on and off. That he sets it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 classes, or the first command we teach is the walk with me command, the heel, to address activity, right? Do you guys know? So heel is an obedience command, right? Heel is like walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So if you take 5 steps with Cooper, Cooper takes 5 steps. If you take 10, Cooper takes 10. If you are in like middle of the park, he's expected to have that much focus, and this is all done with a loose leash in any environment. So we want that much focus, right? So that's like a obedience. It sounds like very like, oh, that's good obedience, right? But reactivity is behavior. Do you know the difference between obedience and behavior?
Obedience is a command.
And then what's behavior?
Behavior is an action, right? You would say, or
you're close. Yes, I know what you're trying to say. So for humans, look at obedience as like math, science, English, social studies, and then behavior is don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, right? You wouldn't really teach a murderer math problems to kind of make him a better person, right? Because you can have a good person, a bad student, or a bad student and a good person. They don't connect. So the reason why our obedience here would connect to the behaviors, because I just told you when you take 5 steps, he takes 5 steps. So that is a lot of focus for him. So once we get that much focus and caution of like, I need to watch where dad's going or watch where mom's going, or else I'm going to get checked, right? That he doesn't even care what's going on over here because he's like, what's going on here, right? So let's say, were you guys, okay, so hold on. Okay, so the reactivity, right? We have a spectrum, right? The first thing that usually goes away is like, if there's any reactivity with it, humans, right? If dogs are reactive to humans, that just goes away right off the bat. Then it goes like bikes, rollerblades, and like calm dogs, and then reactive dogs, and then you turn the corner, there's a dog, right? Because we can't really predict that because it's like we turn the corner, oh, there's a dog. We just do our best situation. So that's how our training would kind of go with the reactivity. Tugging on the leash would technically also be addressed with the walking command, and then recall. So were you guys looking at like a one-on-one, a board and train, a daycare and train, or what kind of program were you like, did you have an idea? Or I can run through the programs as well for you if you'd like.
Which one were the one you were talking about?
We do the one-on-one, try it out, and then if we're too busy, do the daycare training and do it like that.
Yeah, I don't need an
answer. We can try the one-on-one, see how we, because I work. I'm in work from 7 to 5, and I close up. So I run a whole warehouse and everything. So I'm usually after 5 o'clock. I could do anything Monday through Friday. Saturdays are only to 12. She's more open than me. I would say like morning from Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Wednesday through Fridays, she works her 8 to 5, and then mainly the weekends too. We always could get free. If we're free on the morning, we could try to do the mornings. That's why I said like the one-on-one. If it's too busy, then we could do the daycare.
Yeah. So it's just Cooper. It sounds Pretty simple, pretty easy. So as far as personal preference, like, also like availability, like, one-on-one does require some time. So I'll run through the programs just to kind of give you an idea how they work. So one-on-one, right? We meet we're doing in-home, so we can do it in-home or we can do Oz Park. We're meeting all of our clients at Oz Park. Are you guys aware of Oz Park?
Yes.
It's like super busy. There's like baseball games, off-leash dogs, rollerblade, bikes, going on. So that's why we love training at Oz Park, just because everything is there. It's always dogs, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so we operate at Oz Park one-on-one. It's all verbal instructions. We don't touch the dog. It's just you guys. We're just coaching you, like, how to train and everything. So you're doing everything from the ground up. You're learning how to use the e-collar, troubleshoot, how to address his behaviors. You're doing everything yourself. We have 6-week program, 9-week program, 12-week program. You'd be in more like the 6-week program. So 2 classes heal, right? The walking command to address, the tugging of the leash. 2 classes on recall, and the next 2 would kind of see where does that get us for the reactivity.
Okay.
And let's say the reactivity is pretty much really good, right? It's pretty much gone after the 4 classes. Then we can teach you more like stationary commands, like, lay down, don't move, or go to your bed and don't hop off, right?
Okay.
The 2-week program is like all of that, more wiggle room for the reactivity, and then you also get more classes to teach more other commands, right? 12-week is everything, right? And then more commands to kind of have them off leash at in the woods, right? So look at 6-week as like, you walk your dog, and then you need recall when you're at the dog weeks, you come and call, and then you go home. 9-week, you do those things, you take them for walks, you need recall, and then you go to patios and restaurants and stuff like that. 12-week, you do all those things, and then you go off the hiking, right? So you're being more like the 6-week, and if you want more commands, then it's the 9-week for you guys. But I think the 6-week would be very good for you guys. It makes sense to me why you'd want the 6. Example, Sundays, 1 p.m., 7 Sundays at 1 p.m. You get 7, right? That extra Sunday is just in case something happens, right? So you have a time slot reserved for you that no one can take away. Once you have used that extra time slot, then you have to wait for more availability to hop on back on the schedule, right? So Sundays, you get 7 Sundays at 1 p.m. if that's an example, right? Pros, and we also film everything. So let's say one of you can't make it, you can just watch the previous video and just catch up and like, okay, that's what happened this session, and then you can practice at home and everything like that, right?
Okay.
The pros and cons takes a little longer. It's 1 class a week for an hour. Give you 1 topic to practice so that we don't overwhelm you. Pros, you're doing everything yourself. You're learning yourself. You're learning a lot more. Any questions about the in-person?
No.
Okay. Then we have daycare and training. So daycare and training is just like a regular day of daycare, like you were doing with the evaluations. Drop Cooper off 7 to 10. We just train him now, right? You'd be in more like the 10-day bundle, I believe. 10-day. Maybe even 5. I think 10 would be good. So we teach everything. It'd be me, right? I record all the sessions with Cooper. The first explanatory sessions, explaining like this is what the command is and this is how we're going to teach it, and then let's see what happens. You see how Cooper's reacting to it, how he's taken to the econ, and how we're addressing certain behaviors and everything like that, or whatever comes up. Heel, stay, sit, down, place, come when called are all in these videos. Once we teach these commands, like either on the first day or the first 2 days, they're all taught, right? After that, everything's just being reinforced every single day to make it more sharper.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get the video compiled together into 1 video, we send it out to you, and then once you watch your video, you're free to practice at home. And then you also get a lot of follow-up time. So the 10-day, I believe you get 3 hours of follow-up. So let's say you start practicing and then like on his fifth day, let's do a follow-up. You can schedule a follow-up in the middle of his program, or you can wait until his program is finished, then do the follow-up and like, hey, Enrique, we've been practicing heel, but like we're noticing this and this and all this other things, right? Sometimes owners don't practice, which is fine. They rather have the follow-up first, then they practice, and then they finish the program. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the follow-ups are also taking place at Oz Park. Like I said before, ECOS is very transferable, right? So in the beginning, the training will be tied to us as trainers, right? Because we're the ones teaching them and everything. We're the ones practicing and everything like that. The follow-ups are to kind of transfer everything over to you, right? So that we don't get like he knows he'll say sit down, place, yada yada yada. Good luck, watch the videos, bye bye. We're still part of the training, and we still need to kind of make sure everything's going smoothly and well for you guys at home, especially with reactivity. Any questions about the daycare and train?
No.
Then we have board and train. Basically, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. You being on like a 2 week or 1 week program. He's staying with us for a week or 2 weeks. Everything is filmed. You also get more follow-up time just because he's here with us longer. But what else? Pros and cons for the daycare and train in the board and train. Pros, we get it done faster. He learns quicker. Cons, everything is tied to us first. You're still learning a lot, right? Everything's on figure for you. It's just that you're not getting the experience of like you doing it yourself. So that's all.
Yeah.
Any questions about the programs?
No, I think I like this one.
Okay. So it's just like whenever you guys are ready, let me know. After this consultation, I'll send you guys a follow-up email of everything we talked about, programs and prices, what a payment plan would look like if you did in person, and then the down payments are also available for daycare training, board and train. The e-collar recommend for Cooper, a link to Amazon for you guys to order online if you want, or you can purchase through us. We have them in stock, same price. And then you already signed it, but it was the agreements form because you were here. You signed Cooper up on daycare when we had Ginger, correct? Ginger, that was like the form, the software we use for daycare.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was out. Yeah, he was there when you guys. Yeah, for the Ginger. Yes.
Okay, good. So you've already signed the agreements stuff. So since that is signed, it'll just be whenever you're ready, we can begin billing and booking. Once you get your e-collar, if you want to order online, or by us, it's up to you guys. We are pretty packed with board and trains at the moment and daycare and trains, and we're also getting slowly packed with in-persons as well. So just heads up. Any questions about anything we have talked about?
No, but when would you want to start? Because I would want to start. Yeah. I would want to do. We would want to do the one-on-one.
Okay.
At I guess at Oz Park, just because it get us prepared for the surroundings.
Yeah.
And then I guess do the 6th, the 6-week one.
Okay. And then I'll also send you a link to a bark collar, right?
Yeah.
Same technology as the e-collar. I don't think you need to. I'll talk to Jesse. I'm not sure if we need to train him on e-collar first before we do the bark collar or how that works.
Okay.
Forget. I don't know. Bark collar. Okay. Any questions?
You have any questions? No.
Okay. So keep an eye out for that follow-up email. If you missed anything. is all.
Nervousness.
Oh, what kind of prong collar do you have?
Kind of what?
What do you know the brand of prong collar you have?
Where did we get it? In Petco?
What?
The brand of the prong.
I think it was Petco.
We got them at Petco.
Okay. Okay. I'll send you a link to. Well, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's personal preference, but a prong collar that's probably a better one for Cooper.
We got it from Amazon.
Oh, we got it from Amazon.
It came
Okay.
with the rubber.
Because they had rubber tips on them. So like you can take the tips off and they'd be sharper, or you put the silicone tip so like it just the pressure sensation,
Just
I
the
guess.
tension. It doesn't like cut them up or anything.
Oh, okay.
Like little black tips.
I see. I think I remember. I can't. I think I remember it. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Nope.
Okay. So if anything pops up or if any questions arise, feel free to email me and then I'll get back to you. Other than that, it was very nice speaking with you guys about Cooper and everything. Like I said, just keep an eye out for that follow-up email. It should be sent out either tomorrow night or the following day, but it should be tomorrow. It should be tomorrow. But yeah, cool. It's very nice speaking with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.